Hi guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, congratulations and welcome. So my name is Joshua Tharby, founder of JSM Partners. It's an accountancy firm that I founded all the way back in 2018, leaving the world of practice with no client list, a little bit of money, no idea on how to start an accountancy business, run an accountancy business, or even grow an accountancy business. And here we are 8 years later, and we've learned a lot along the way. And ultimately, it's been a fantastic journey. So if anybody looking to start an accountancy firm, it is exciting. It's way more exciting actually doing the accounts themselves, the business side of things, the marketing side of things, the sales, the operations, the systems. That's genuinely the exciting stuff. Knocking a set of accounts together isn't that exciting in comparison, and that's why if you start an accountancy firm, you're probably going to get somebody to do that for you, because your aim is, although you might be an accountant, you're a qualified accountant, you're probably watching this because you're entrepreneurial, you want to start your own firm, you want to get that freedom that, quite frankly, sitting in the office 9 to 5 isn't giving, and that's exactly what you can do through starting an accountancy firm. I say that because that's what I've done. Since 2018, we've done over £3 million in sales for tax and accountancy services, all whilst I've been living in Dubai, swallowing off, living in Spain, absolutely everything. So I know exactly how to do it, how to optimize it. And ultimately, I've made mistakes along the way. And in this video, I'm going to share 4 mistakes that I made when starting my accountancy firm so that you can write those down and make sure that you don't make them. The first mistake that I made was it was just pricing from fear, desperation. When I started my accountancy firm, I literally sold the BMW that I had. I was living in my nan's house at the time and had about £10,000. I thought, you know what, I'm going to start this accountancy firm. If it doesn't work out, I can just go back to work in 12 months' time. So obviously, if I'm spending money still want to survive, I really needed to replace that income. So the first mistake that I did was I was too cheap. I was in a place of desperation, and ultimately clients, they're a bit like dogs, sharks, whatever you want to call them. Dogs is probably a bit verbatim, but sharks, that's probably a bit better, is they can smell blood. So where you're desperate, or if you fundamentally need the client, and you act like that, then of course they're going to be able to sense that, so you might not even get the client, or if they do, they'll be locked in, they'll want more, you won't be getting paid enough for it, and ultimately it's just a terrible relationship and you wish that you had never even started with them. So that's the mistake that I made. Some of our first clients, like £50 a month or something stupid along those lines for a set of limited company accounts, absolutely ridiculous. And it's once you've got those and okay, you get in a comfortable position, you might have replaced your employment income, you think, you know what, actually we can start to charge a little bit more now, then getting rid of those clients is an absolute pain as well. They're usually the ones to leave bad Google reviews, the ones to kick up a fuss, drain all of your time. Ultimately, cheap clients are cheap clients. If they are looking for the cheapest option, they are shopping around on price, they're not the clients that you want. And I say that with having worked with thousands of clients, you need to put a premium on your products. Ultimately, when somebody goes in and buys a Rolex, they're happy to spend that money because they know what they're getting back. If someone's looking for a Rolex and you give them the price of a Tag or a Seiko or whatever it's called, and they're going to think, well, actually, there's no value to be had here. But if you're delivering your products with confidence, you're delivering your prices with confidence, and you're happy with the offer and the value and the service that you can provide, you need to come across confidently when you say your prices. Even now, when we say our prices to clients now and in the past, we give them a high price, which is certainly higher than any of our competitors, and they say, wow, okay, I thought it would have been more. And that's always an indication that actually, you know what, can we increase our prices a little bit more again? So that's the first mistake, is trying to compete on price, coming from a place of desperation. You do not want to do that, because you will start to, just like a homeless person, if you're looking for some food, you will pick up the crap on the floor. You do not want to do that in business. You want to be in a position of confidence, a position of security, so that when you are saying, okay, that will be £250 a month for this advisory, it will be £400, it will be £3,500 for this report, you can do that with confidence, and you know that it's reflecting your worth, and you're able to deliver that work well and profitably. The second is spending too much time on stuff that just didn't matter. So obviously I didn't know how to run an accountancy firm. There were plenty of gaps in my tax knowledge, accounting knowledge. I didn't know how to prepare even a set of LLP accounts, as an example. So I spent so much time trying to know everything rather than actually doing the main thing that I needed to do, which was grow the business. To grow the business, we need clients. To need clients, we need the marketing. So rather than doing it the right way around, I was thinking, okay, I need to, because not necessarily insecure, but because I was just fresh out of practice, literally barely qualified. I needed to try and fill those gaps. That's what I thought anyway. In the long run, that doesn't matter. No accountant knows absolutely everything. If a client asks you something that you don't know about, yeah, no worries. I just have to double check that and get back to you. And then you call the tax advice helpline. Then you do the research, you dig out the tax books and get that answer. You don't need to know everything off the top of your head. But what you do need to grow the business is you need to spend pretty much every waking hour that you can on actually growing the business, refining your offer, making your marketing work, producing content, ultimately getting yourself known out there as the person that does what the client needs. So whether you're specializing in consultants, property, cryptocurrency, whatever it might be, you need to get that reputation as being known for the person that helps in that niche. And that's what you should be doing, rather than trying to know absolutely everything about everything or what payroll software you're going to use. Because quite frankly, until you've got money coming in, until you've got a serious bank of clients, none of that matters. And then we've got saying yes to absolutely everybody. So of course, when you get somebody coming in, even if it's not your ideal client or it's a niche that you want to work in, that you want to specialize in, it's saying yes to them. That is costly in the long run, because again, it doesn't mirror up to the systems and onboarding that you're going to set up when you do go after a certain client base. If you go after the property sector, you can build a whole onboarding system, a whole internal workflow that suits that particular client base. Residential property, there's no VAT, so you're not going to worry about checking clients' turnover every quarter or once a year for VAT. But if you are going after the small business market, well, actually, VAT is probably going to be an issue, so you need to factor that in. And if you've built everything for the property side of things or that particular niche, you start to take on clients that are outside of that, it's going to distract you. It's not an ideal client, so the best option is just to turn them away. You don't want to you don't want to be known for this one particular sector. Set up your practice to run that way, but then start taking on everybody who comes to you, because that's ultimately not how you build the business that you want to run long term. If you do want to be a general practitioner, okay, fantastic, but make sure that you're setting yourself up for that. It's not something I'd ever really recommend to everybody, because as I just mentioned, you can't know everything about everything. When it comes to marketing, you need to be known as that guy, that person who does, for anybody who's in this space, this person is the accountant, the tax advisor to help you get it looked after. He's going to sort it for you. And you can't ever achieve that status by going general market, by becoming a general practitioner, by going to BNI meetings at 6 a.m. or whatever ungodly hour they are. You cannot do that. So just pick one area, stay with it. If a client comes to you in that space, refer it out, get a little kickback, or just pass it on. You can't work with everybody at the end of the day and get that, kind of accept that as early as you can, because it will serve you in the long run. And then the last one was not getting serious about marketing from day one. Thankfully, if you're watching this and you're just looking to start your own accountancy firm, or you really have just started, this is the key takeaway from this video: is commit to marketing on day one. If you're an accountant who prefers to be behind the scenes, it's going to be very slow, difficult and tiresome to grow an accountancy firm in this modern day and age. You need a presence, online, physical presence, whether that's going to actual networking events that are fruitful, letting people know what you do, where your ideal client hangs out. So if you're going after the property space, don't go to a general business networking event, go to property investor networking. A lot of people miss that when they go to general business events, but commit to building some sort of online following, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, whatever you're comfortable doing, commit to that. Start producing content, adding value, entertaining, educating your particular niche area, so you start to occupy and own that space. The online world is literally like the new high street. So previously you would have thousands of people walking down the high street each and every day. You don't anymore, but instead they're all online. And when you put content out, that occupies it. So the more content you put out, the more frequency, the better it is, the more of this online real estate that you actually own. And then you can really come in and clean up with ads and everything else, with lead magnets, get them on your mailing list, and ultimately just build a crazy lead flow machine where sooner or not you'll be at capacity and have to be turning clients away, as we've done plenty of times in the past. So commit to marketing first. I think it's Alex Hormozy said, if you need clients, the first 4 hours of your day should be, how am I going to get clients today? And that is absolutely the truth. Don't worry about the company name or how you're setting things up. Just think, okay, what am I going to do today to get clients, to get money in the door? And there we have it, guys. 4 mistakes that I made when starting my accountancy firm back in 2018. Since then, we've done millions in sales, and we've still got a very healthy client base now here in the UK. Are you looking to start your accountancy firm? Let me know in the comments. And if you are interested, the Grow Your Firm Accelerator is opening very soon. The link for the pre-registration is in the description. But that's all for now, guys. See you next week.